Hello, so I wanted to start this vlog today. Basically, the idea for this vlog is a jaded woman looks for a 5-star romance. So as you probably know, I haven't been doing too well in the contemporary romance category this year. I've basically disliked everything I've read so far, but I don't always hate romance. So I've been over this a couple of times on my channel. I tend to really enjoy period romances, the long gazes across the room. Maybe they talk in the first 60 pages, maybe they talk in the first 80 pages, and then there's probably no kiss, if we're being honest, but they do fall in love. Or I like complete absolute trash romance fantasy, just nonsensical. There's really no in between for me. I'm a real 110% kind of gal, but this ends today because I'm going to find a 5-star romance. But for now, I have selected what I think is a large variety of romance. Also, pardon the hair, it is natural right now. We've been getting so much rain in Nova Scotia. Sometimes you just gotta let the curls fly. And welcome to my channel. This is my hair. Normally I put a little bit of love into it, but this is not the case. So currently I am about to start my 4-day weekend. I have about 2 more hours left of work and then I am free. It is Thursday. Tomorrow is September 1st. I've already done my August reading wrap up. I finished my last book before my wrap up that I filmed yesterday, and I am looking forward to a fresh month of reading. First, I have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I am very excited about this one. This one's been getting a lot of buzz lately, and what I do know about it is that the bodyguard trope is turned a little bit on its head, where the bodyguard in this one is the female. So that'll be fun. Next, I got The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. And this is one that I did put on my August TBR because I feel like it'll have all of the right spooky vibes. But from what I understand for that one, it is about a real witch who lives in the current world with humans and is lonely. So she decides to start a witches kind of club that mostly consists of humans that actually can't do magic. So I thought that would be really cute. Next, I got Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake to scratch that bisexual itch and get some female romance in there, because maybe I've been doing this wrong and I am more interested in reading female romance. I also got The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is one I know that got a lot of buzz like a year or two ago, and it is a football romance. It's like a sports romance. I told you, I got a whole wide array. I'm hellbent on finding the romance for me. So for now, I'm gonna finish my workday and start The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. And let's see, maybe I'll get a 5-star right off the bat. Who knows? Hope springs eternal. Okay, I'm hopping in post-workout to say I'm 13% of the way through The Bodyguard, and I have initial observations, which is similar to when I was reading Funny You Should Ask. So I'm assuming who our main protagonist is. So she has been assigned to looking after our lead heroine, who is a bodyguard, has been assigned to looking after Jack Stapleton, which is like the celebrity hottie. And similar to Funny You Should Ask, which I'm now noticing a lot of parallels, which is the normal girl, the super hot guy. He also answered the door without his shirt on to a complete stranger when he's expecting company. What is that? I just find that to be so bizarre. Maybe this is a trope in romance. I have no other thoughts besides that right now. I just wanted to share that. Good morning. I apologize for the state of myself. I'm gonna take a shower and blow dry my hair and get a little more presentable. But in the meantime, I wanted to check in and say last night I finished The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and I'm rating that a 3 out of 5 stars. So it's definitely the better of contemporary romance that I've read lately. So we're heading in the right direction, but it wasn't quite there for me for even a 4-star yet. But it was fun to read, and the characters, I found the banter in The Bodyguard to be a lot better, but I still wasn't very invested in the relationship or the characters. So I'm still really looking for that something to push it into a 4-star, let alone a 5-star. But I am thinking The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is going to be my back pocket 5-star. I still have a couple of days for the library loan, so I don't think I'm going to start that yet. But I also wanted to say that I dropped by the library yesterday to pick up a couple of physical romance books and kind of peruse their shelves, see what they had. So I found Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. I have no idea what any of these are about. I picked up Heart and Soul by Jen Frederick. And I picked up By the Book by Jasmine Gilroy. And hopefully one of those will maybe be a surprise 5-star. Who knows? I'm kind of trying any and everything. So I will check back in. It's just Friday now, and I have Friday and Monday off. I have some friends coming over for a fire today, and then I'm going about an hour out of town to Wine Valley tomorrow to see some friends and just go to a market. So I have stuff to do this weekend, but especially driving down to the valley. My boyfriend's going to be driving, so I'll have time to read and etc., etc. So I should be able to get quite a lot of reading done. Morning. So I wanted to check in. It's after the long weekend now. So we are just at Tuesday after Labor Day. I do live in a college town, so like all of the kids were moving in this weekend. Downtown was a nightmare. So it was the perfect excuse basically to just read as much as possible. So I will catch you up on what I read this weekend. I had quite a few DNFs, but I also had a couple of successes in romance. So the first book I'll go over is By the Book by Jasmine Gilroy. I rated that 3 out of 5 stars. It's my highest rated romance so far in this vlog. I did not know it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, because when I was picking books up at the library, I pretty much was just going off of like what struck me. I wasn't necessarily reading the synopsis as much as I should. But I do enjoy Beauty and the Beast, so it worked for me, and it's the highest rated thus far for my contemporary romance. I wound up DNFing Dating Dr. Dill in the quickest DNF in my entire reading career, which was I flipped it open to learn a little bit about the author, and in the back there was a Taylor Swift playlist that I just did not personally vibe with. And then I read the summary of the book and DNF'd it before reading one page. It might be great, but it just was not for me. So that was that. And I returned both of those. I also DNF'd The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. That was one that I read about 25% of the way through, and the characters were just not vibing with me. I didn't really like the premise. I didn't like how the two leads were going about not dating each other, as in like using other people, women kind of judging women more harshly because of who they're dating, and the kind of jealousies. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. But I do have high hopes for the current romance I'm reading, and that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I am 30% of the way through this one, and I am feeling really good about it. I don't know if it will be a 5-star, because 5-star for me is a 5-star feeling. So I can rate something as high as 4.5, but if it didn't have that 5-star feeling, then it's not going to make it. So it really is a certain like je ne sais quoi about a book that I can't quite pinpoint besides a feeling I get. So I have high hopes for this one. This is essentially about a witch who decides to join the Witch Core. She decides to join the Witch Core YouTube community, being an actual witch herself. So obviously it's just a bunch of humans that dress up as witches and have the kind of witch aesthetic. She decides to join that because she's quite lonely, because in this world witches can't gather very often because magic is semi-sentient and very mischievous. When a lot of witches gather together, it's more conspicuous as magic starts to act up. Through this YouTube channel, an older gentleman named Ian discovers her and decides to hire her on, as he has 3 little witchlings in the estate that he works in that need some guidance. Magic is kind of running amok there and they just need some help. It looks like the love interest is going to be a man named Jamie who works at the library at this estate, who is more or less the paternal figure in these 3 little witchlings' lives. Like, it's such a cozy read. I'm having such a good time with it so far. I sat down and just read 30% yesterday, so it's a super easy read as well. And it's so good so far. I'm really enjoying it. And for like the beginning of September read, I will say it's also perfect for that. The witchiness, the coziness, everybody's making tea. It takes place in the UK. It's a little bit rainy, so I'm just loving it so far, and I have the highest hopes for this one. Hello, it is the end of my workday and I have just finished reading The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I think I'm gonna rate this a 4.5, a 4.25, I think, out of 5 stars, and in the vlog here. And I want to say that I obviously have the most bizarre standards for romance, but I'm an optimist, and I think I will make this a series, and occasionally, maybe a week every couple of months, just bulk read a couple of romances until I find a 5-star contemporary romance that I love. I will say what I liked about The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches was the coziness. It was a little bit of a slower sort of romance. It wasn't insta-love. There was like a mutual respect that slowly built kind of through the work that Mika, who is our lead female character, did with the children, and the paternal role that Jamie played with the children. They kind of mutually grew to respect each other that way, and then from the respect there grew a romantic interest. And I really liked that we got to spend a few chapters in the start of the book just with Mika to see where her mental state was at, how she felt about everything, why she was sort of craving this found family, because she's never had any kind of family to rely on, and she went through a point of her life where she was incredibly lonely, whereas now she's kind of just passively lonely. So on top of all that, me reading it in September, I think didn't hurt at all. But I will say a lot of things were right in that book, but it just didn't have that 5-star feeling. But it's definitely my favorite romance I've read so far, and out of I think the 6 books I tried, I wound up only rating 2 3 stars and above. But that's gonna be all for me right now. If there are any books you think I will enjoy, I'm not interested in like hard romance or like a gray sort of romance, a bully romance, nothing like that. If you can't tell from how wholesome this book was, I am really looking for something that is quite heartwarming. There doesn't necessarily have to even be sex in it, or any kind of sex scene or spicy scenes or anything like that. I'm happy for it just to be a romance. So if there is anything you can think of that I should try for my next video, let me know. I would be very, very interested, because obviously romance isn't my forte. But that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.